Hey, Soca lovers, it's Soca Say So,
And this chick.
and we're back with episode 4 of season 7. And this season, we're tackling the topic, are we over it?
Are we over it? In this episode, we are talking about are we over Soca to the world? Don't cancel us, don't cancel us. Hear us out, hear us out. Keep watching, keep watching. I mean, to Soca bloggers, of course, we're going to ask the question, are we over Soca to the world? But let us explain what we mean. It's been the phrase that we've been hearing for a long time. Soca's going global. Soca's going to the Grammys. We're taking Soca to the world. I don't know. I feel like I might be overhearing that. I feel like I'm over it.
Like I want to say, are we there yet?
Hmm.
Honestly, there is a good argument to say we're already there. We're just not where you think, right? Because Soca has been to just about every major arena. A soca artist, soca songs have been in there. Every athletic event has played some soca music at some point. People around the globe know soca. So what again? What again? What do you really mean? What do you really mean? Take soca global. What not? I mean, wasn't it global when like Harry Belafonte sold out records? When wasn't it global when Sparrow sold out Madison Square Garden? Like what do you mean? What do you want? What are we looking for?
Yeah, I think that's the clarification that we need because people keep saying, "Oh, we're ready to take soca to the world. This artist is going to take soca to the world. Artist is going to take soca global." I think what some people mean when they say that is being awarded, having categories like an iTunes category, a Spotify category, having an award show where there is a soca music award as opposed to just, world, which it gets lumped into. I mean,
Mhm.
right now there are Afrobeats categories on things, and that used to be world as well. So when will Soca hit that level? And what will it take for Soca to hit that level? And are we being realistic about Soca hitting that level?
Deep breaths, Jamila. There's so much I need to talk about all at once. I mean, part of me says other people can't recognize soca, so if West Indians don't recognize it. We don't really have a one soca genre. We don't have a definition of soca. Um, I mean, I do not believe that everybody has the same definition in their head of what soca is. And if we can't all agree on what soca is, then you can't explain it and you can't bring it other places. So then we just get to soca's a vibe, right? And soca's like a party music. Okay, fine. And so when you play it for someone, they say, oh, okay, that's what soca is. And that's gotten us to Marshall having songs with Wyclef, Rupee, Kevin Little, Shaggy, like people all over the world, right? And being on, going to the White House and all these places. And so people can hear soca and know it when they hear it. But is anyone requesting soca music? I
You
don't
know, you
know.
bring up a good topic, a good question about just the definition. And in order to understand the music, I think we need to really solidify the definition. I will say it was interesting to see a kid show give you a definition. I mean, we've interviewed artists and we've gotten multiple responses when we said, okay, tell people what is soca. But yeah, I'm gonna play a little audio from, of all things, Sesame Street,
Hmm.
where they actually have a definition that is digestible, at least for a younger audience, for what soca is. Let it go.
What is soca?
Soca is a type of Afro and Indo-Caribbean dance music that's loved around the world.
Oh, well, how could it not be? It's music.
It originated in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's played in lots of different Caribbean nations and Caribbean carnival celebrations.
Oh, soca is soca cool. And the perfect music for a party.
you're right. Her friends start putting together the surprise and thinking about all the different foods they're going to try and the music they're going to play.
Oh, wow, a food-filled feast is my kind of party.
All we need now is the music. Hit it.
Oh, yeah! Soca and rice. I think that is nice.
She did not come up with her own lyrics. I mean, they do mention it's Indo and Afro-Caribbean music. It's a fusion music. I think that is pretty close to a good definition of it. Now, whether or not people in a party or in, in an event or outside even, when they hear music, will they go, ah, that's soca?
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, where we're missing it.
Yeah. And in terms of being global, being recognized, I think the only thing comes down to is sales. And if you don't have a defined genre, it's hard to label and put you in a group so that you can say, okay, here's a list of soca songs and you can buy, you can stream these songs, right? So there's that one problem. But then also, I don't think soca has been, as an industry, has been commercialized enough. When I ask true soca lovers where they get their music, they list the like 15 or more DJs that they follow, and the YouTube pages, and the how many mixes that they've heard for the season. There's nobody that says, I buy so and so's album and I stream anything that comes from this artist or that artist. It's like, I go to these DJs and listen to their mixes, or I go on all the social media and see what the artist tells me is their new song. So there's no quantifiable way of seeing how many people are listening to soca. I know a lot of people are trying to make charts now, but what are they basing these charts off of? I don't know for the life of me. Some of them are plays, streams, but I'm sure we're streaming mixes way more than we're streaming individual songs.
I think that is a really good point. I went to an event before with shout out to Style and Vibes. She held an event where there were people coming and talking about just like being programmers or indexers for things like Spotify, Apple Music. And they're like, if I don't have a big catalog of that music, I'm throwing it into World. If I have, 10,000 people streaming an artist or streaming a particular segment of music, I'm going to make sure that I title that and categorize that so that people will stream it. Obviously, those platforms want you to stream the music from them. And they'll make sure that you can find it and it's discoverable. If you have people putting up their songs and the only categories they can choose is world or island or something like that, it gets harder to say, these people are listening to soca because there's kind of no genre there for them to select for soca.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how you can have a subgenre that's segmented in 50 million ways, right? You've got bouillon, jab, and dennery, and this and that. So you're trying to teach people what soca is, and then they've got to also learn the different parts. That makes it a bit complicated. I think we're missing a conglomerate of artists, right? So you can look at Motown and say there was a Motown sound, right? New Jack Swing sound, because there was a record label or a producer that gathered a few artists and gave a certain sound. And so you've got multiple songs going on with that sound. And so you say, okay, I get it. Motown makes R&B or funk or whatever it is at the time. And so you have a driving force that's behind the artist. So it's not one man alone trying to hold up the whole industry on their back, right? Or one woman at a time. Pick me, I'm the one. It is all of us going forward, right? Because you may not be the Diana Ross, but we're going to push your music too because we want the whole entire label to succeed, right? And they've tried to have that at different different times in the past, but there is no one big soca label that's pushing forward a sound, a artist, book my 5 artists. They must be booked together, something like that, so you can drive a whole drive the industry more so than just the person at a time.
Yeah, I think you make another good point with just the no, I'm Jennery, I'm Bouillon, I'm this, I'm that. We don't have enough troops to do rank and file. Everybody got to be soca. We don't have enough music to say, oh no, let me go listen to 17 hours worth of Bouillon. Let me go listen to 20 hours worth of Jennery. Just categorize everything soca. That way you can really start to build a big catalog of music. I'm thinking of, like Afro beats, and even Tyla is like, I'm not Afro beats, but I'm considered Afro beats. Like that is not a distinction that they necessarily, wanted to make more than they wanted to make a big push with a lot of artists and a lot of sounds and just African music coming out. And so I see the way that that genre has really been able to move forward. Um, I don't know. I think there are some people who, even within the Caribbean, we have like what, 7 big artists, let's say. And it's like, no, well, I actually do this and I actually do that. And it's like, can we all just be soca and at least start compiling all of that music so that it can be just listed as one thing?
And how far do you have to go to be global? I mean, we have many islands and we have people who are from those islands and they're living in other countries. Aren't we enough to make it global? Like, I feel like we're always waiting for the others to accept us. And then you'll say, oh, we made it globally. Like, no, there's Grenadians in the UK, there's Grenadians in Asia. Like, we global. So if they're listening to the music and they're purchasing and streaming it, right, then why wouldn't you say? Because I'm blessed believe when I look at the numbers of where you guys are listening to, I'm telling people I have a global podcast because I know you are all over the world. So I'm not saying, oh, I'm not global yet because a specific group of people aren't listening yet. No, you're from around the world.
Yeah, I do think that is important. I don't think that, artists really I think there are times when I've seen times in the music where I've seen artists really trying to appeal to the outside audience. And so that brings me to my next point. Do we need to be global? I feel like sometimes people want that validation externally, and I feel right now it might be good to gatekeep some things. Just kind of keep it within our culture, within our community, so that you can really build up that infrastructure, build up that music. I think it might be okay to gatekeep some of our stuff. I'm just saying, I'm looking at yoga, and you wouldn't know an Indian had anything to do with yoga at this point. I feel like maybe we want to gatekeep. Maybe we don't want to go global. I'm
Oh,
open to suggestion, but to me, I'm feeling a little protective of some cultural things right now.
hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't thought of it like that. I would like to see um, more Caribbean people purchase by even sell out these concerts. Like, why does it take more than 10 minutes to sell out a Marshall concert?
Hmm.
Like, what are we doing? Like, why is it that all these concerts come out and you can still buy tickets at the door? Like, they should all just be sold out immediately. We love the music. We know they perform well. And that's a linchpin of soca music, that the performers perform really well
Hmm.
and they give you energy and you're going to be in a space full of energy and vibes and people who just come to have a good time. There's no reason why you shouldn't be sold out every time.
Absolutely.
So you wouldn't even have to worry about others joining in and giving you validation because we sold out. We didn't even have space for you, time for you. But yeah, that is a you're making me think. I don't know. Should we gatekeep? Hmm.
I don't know. Is it important to go global? Do we need to go global? What does it mean to go global? And why are we so worried about being global when, I mean, it's not like people don't understand the music, don't appreciate the music. You and I have been to events that had nothing to do with soca. And the minute they started playing soca music, people just rose to their feet, got wild, got happy,
Yeah.
got excited, waving flags. So people understand the infectious vibe of soca music.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I just feel like the real essence is, can artists make a living off of this music? Will they be, financially appreciated for the music? And will they get accreditation, in the way that they want? There are a lot more awards within the genre, within the Caribbean now.
Mhm.
People are recognizing that you should appreciate artists while they're alive. So that's helpful in and of itself. And just in general, the music is much more appreciated internally than it ever was. Jab was not a thing that you could say with your chest, I'm a jab artist, and nobody wanted to hear that like 40 years ago. That was not a thing, right? That was just, a couple nights a year you turn up and you do that, but that was not something that anyone was going to respect you for. And that has definitely made a huge change, and in other subgenres and in soca, right? um so just the appreciation and the acknowledgement in within the Caribbean is much better.
Mm.
But it's like we're just not satisfied with our own love. Like we need love from somebody else.
Well, also you talk about artists, or fans rather, being all over the world. Remember, we had the Rant and Rave live event where we had New York-based soca artists who were talking about how hard it is to be, accepted by the genre, by the people, by the powers that be, entering the different competitions because they're based in New York. And
Mhm.
so, is that an issue? Can we just be like, yeah, if you are West Indian anywhere on the planet, you're
That's a
good.
whole other episode. That's a whole other episode. Don't get me started
I
on
mean,
be
we did the live
recognized.
event. We did it. We did the live event. Please check out Rant and Rave. It was our third event. I will link it here, so that you could see what the artists were saying about being taken seriously as New York-based artists. So yeah, I think the appreciation really just has to be, if you are pushing soca, if you are making soca music, if you are trying to really increase the visibility of the genre, then it should be accepted. Now, don't get me wrong, not everything is good. But
Keep it real.
I mean, at least the acknowledgement that there is effort there to add more to these catalogs of soca music.
I love people wanting to reach for the stars and go big, go better.
You make it sound
I
like they're delusional.
But I just don't know if they truly know what their goal is, right? Like, is your goal, if you're going global, is your goal to just be in front of a 100% non-Caribbean audience and they're recognizing you? Is that going to make you feel like you've made it? Or is it that your people are traveling to some huge arena and you're singing to tens of thousands of people? Is that what it is? I don't think anybody has an actual goal in place, or not a lot. Some do, right? I feel like Kes the band and their whole crew have a definite goal set going on. And I don't know, and Marshall, of course, but I don't know how many others want more than just to be booked every weekend. I don't know. I don't know what's going to make them feel satisfied, feel happy in that the genre is doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, are we there yet? Are we there
But I don't know if I personally don't need to keep hoping and wishing that Soca's going global, especially when I see like Toronto Raptors game featuring Moto and like, like just
Or, yeah.
spaces where I just don't think that Soca's going to be. It's there.
Yeah. We were palancing in Ghana. Like, we were definitely waving flags and taking a jump at, the Paris concert. Like, it is definitely understood. And like I said, people when they hear it, they feel it. They know that this is a jump up happy music. And I hope it continues to be that, because you do have some artists trying to be like, we should try this other thing. Don't you,
Honestly.
don't you do it. Don't you put it down.
Stay right here and perfect your craft, please and thanks.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, make sure you are okay. This is this is a district issue. Make sure you are doing press. Make sure you are visible online. Make sure you do have websites where people can purchase, download, and find your music. Make sure you do have a social media channel that actually explains who you are, what you do, how to book you, and maybe some reels of your actual performances. Make sure that you are marketing yourself. Make sure you are doing your branding. Make sure that people understand what they get when they book you. They know what Soca is, and that you will only do Soca when you go to that event in that arena. Just saying, please and thanks.
What she said. What she said. After all of that, let's take a break and rave. Can I rave?
I feel like I need you to rave because I'm so amped up. Rave, rave.
Thank you. This episode, we are going to rave to Soca Global by Erphaan Alves.
Huh. I go to my grave to support this thing, yeah. Push the soca global. I go walk like slave to build up this thing, yeah. Push the soca global. No season, it's a full-time thing, yeah. Watch out for the vibes that we bring, yeah. Soca bound to reach Broadway. Don't surprise when the billboard charts. There's some of them that are stop the thing, but I come out here to walk it. But I come out here to walk. Tell you some of them that are stop, but I come out here to walk it. Right now, so I'm making a nice position to the right with the construction. So tell them we bad, we better than bad. Tell them we bad, we better than bad. So tell them we bad, we better than bad. I come to push the soca global. Let me tell them. In a club, they be ready. In a fed, in the street, they be ready. In a uptown dance, everybody lively. In a downtown dance, everybody. There'll be a time I claim that the soca go rain again. So once make the breakthrough, so let me plant back the rose calypso. But first, let me fix the local now. Then we got take off global now. All of the doubters want know how. Link the iTunes category now. Tell you some of them that are stop the thing, but I come out here to walk it. But I come out here to walk. Tell you some of them that are stop, but I come out here to walk it. Right now, so I'm living in a nice position to the world with the construction.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You feel better now that you raved? I mean, it's Erphaan, of course. We always feel better listening to Erphaan.
It's Erphaan. I always feel great when I listen to Erphaan, just saying. But did you hear what he said? He said fix local, then fix global.
I feel like he heard us.
I mean, this song is from many years ago, but
I feel like he heard us in his forward-thinking mind. Or I feel like we've been saying this.
Yeah.
And other
That
people
part.
clearly have been saying this.
Yeah. I'm curious. Do you think Soca is global? Do you think we've made it? Or do you think that there is still work to be done for the industry? Leave a comment. I want to know.
Now they're going to just flood our inboxes, our social channels. They're going to paste this and be like, can you believe? But yeah, we want the smoke. It's fine. Let us know if you think Soca is global, and let us know if you think Soca needs to be global.
I want to know. I will read all of it. So go ahead and type like mad. Get to typing. I want to read everything you have to say. So go to bkrantandrave.com and follow us on all social media. And go ahead, you can follow her. Dischick.com. DYSCHICK.com.
And make sure you are also following Soca Say So. Follow her on all social media or go to socasayso.com.
Okay, bye.